Hey everybody, welcome back to Matt Recaps. I'm going to pay a little homage to Final Fantasy VII now that the remake has launched. Behold, 49 facts of Final Fantasy VII. Biggs and Wedge, very famous Avalanche members, take their names from Star Wars characters, Biggs and Wedge, who fly with Luke on their way to the Death Star. The age-old question of what is a spoiler when it comes to the Final Fantasy VII remake has been argued for many months. However, Squaresoft were very sinful of spoiling their own story back when Final Fantasy VII Original came out on Platinum. On the back of the CD case, there's a slightly spoilerific picture in the top left-hand corner. When the party reaches Calm, Cloud goes into a monologue of his adventures with Sephiroth on their way to Nibelheim and his history with him. When you get to play as Cloud and Sephiroth, you can go into the menu, and if you look at Cloud, his picture is totally different than what you're used to. This is because the picture used here was the original artwork for Cloud. This was then changed for the game, but as a nice little Easter egg, Square threw it in here. Final Fantasy VII makes many references to pizza when talking about Midgar. This is made famous by that very artistic line from Barrett talking about the people living underneath the pizza. This though leads into my next three facts. The references to pizzas don't stop here. The city of Midgar is shaped like a pizza, obviously. 8 sections, 8 sectors. When you do the raid on the Shinra headquarters to save Aerith, you run into the Mayor of Midgar and his assistant. The Mayor's name is Domino, and the assistant's name is Hart, although this could have been poorly translated as it could have been Hut. So yes, it looks like the Mayor and the Assistant Mayor are named after the two biggest pizza franchises. The Slums theme music is also titled Living Under the Rotting Pizza. The Huge Materia mission sets you on your path to collect 4 huge materia that Shinra are going to use to blow up Meteor. Once you've got them and store them at Cosmo Canyon, you get the chance to go and view them. But don't they just resemble the elemental crystals from most prior Final Fantasy games? Now it's time to discuss some of the curlier points of Final Fantasy VII. At the end of Disc 2, it is very implied that Tifa and Cloud may have gotten it on underneath a high wind that night. But in the original story, they were meant to be walking out of the Chocobo stable in the high wind. This was then changed, maybe because it looked a little bit too much like a walk of shame? Who knows? Speaking of Tifa, if you hold off on meeting Yuffie until Tifa is your party leader in Disc 2, Yuffie uses some very colourful language to describe Tifa. Tifa's always been known for her top-heavy design, and Yuffie cuts straight to the cut of the jib. Sticking with Tifa again, when you do your raid on Shinra Mansion and you do go up the steps, in the original game, Tifa throws out a really off-the-cuff line that would have been acceptable back in the late 90s. I'm not quite sure how this is going to be handled in the remake, and I guess we'll find out very shortly, but I'm sure the word is not going to be in there. For this next section, let's get into references and allusions. Xenogears. Not only was Xenogears pitched as their story for Final Fantasy VII before it got turned down for being a bit too dark, but there are a couple of Easter eggs within Xenogears and Final Fantasy VII which refer to each other. In Disc 2, when Cloud is in a catatonic state in Mideel, he will mutter the name Xenogears. Not only that, but some of the words he says are actually also from the theme song of Xenogears 2 Small Pieces. Within Xenogears itself, when you go to Solaris, you can see a picture of Tifa up on one of the bedroom walls. Let's head to Final Fantasy VIII next, and everybody knows Zal. Another martial artist who fights with his fists and his feet, and a lot of his dual attacks are named after Final Fantasy VII limit breaks, namely Tifa's. Dolphin Blow, Final Heaven, Meteor Strike, and there is also a hint to Barrett there with one being called Meteor Barrett. In Esthar, one of the shops is called Cloud Shop, and in the Deep Dive Deposit you can fight Ultima Weapon. Not only is Ultima Weapon back in Final Fantasy VIII, but he has a sword which is a representation of Cloud's Ultima Weapon from Final Fantasy VII. For the first half of Final Fantasy VIII, your antagonist is Adair Kramer. Now Adair's design was actually going to be used in Final Fantasy VII as a cyborg or an android or a humanoid version of Genova. Those ideas were scrapped and Adair's design was moved to Final Fantasy VIII. For the latter half, the antagonist is Ultimecia. When you fight Ultimecia at the end of the game, The theme song for her final battle was going to be a boss battle song for Jenova as well. Again, scrapped, moved. In Final Fantasy IX, there are also a couple of references. Beatrix's Clim Hazard is a direct reference to Cloud's Clim Hazard. In one of the ATBs, you can hear the Rufus's welcoming ceremony theme music playing along with the orchestra. In the opening stages, the Tantalus have a play that they present to the audience. One of the lines in this is, "No cloud, no squall shall hinder us." Slight cheeky dib to the last two Final Fantasy reiterations, methinks. And at one of the shops, Zidane talks about swords, remembering a spiky-haired person that used to use swords like these. Wondering who he can be talking about. Moving into Final Fantasy X and its sequel, X-2. In Final Fantasy X, Lulu can be equipped with the Kate Sith doll. In Final Fantasy X-2, Riku can dress up as Kate Sith in the mascot dress sphere. I never want to see Kate Sith in a suggestive pose again. And in X-2, there is now a big character called Shinra, who flies along with the Gullwings. If there was a popularity contest within the Final Fantasy franchise, Cloud would win it. The reason I say that is that he has appeared in no less than 37 other games than Final Fantasy VII. These span from Kingdom Hearts, Itadaki, Little Big Planet, Smash Brothers, and of course Urgaze and Chocobo Racing. I'm going to pay homage to the Final Fantasy fandom website for my next section, but here are some quickfire facts about how many times the number 7 turns up in Final Fantasy VII. Keep up. Avalanche resides in Sector 7 of Midgar. When entering Midgar from the world map, the door has the number 7 painted on it, even though you got the key to Sector 5. Shinra headquarters has 70 floors. The books in the Shinra Mansion library form the letters VII. The Red Plain in Costa del Sol harbour has a 7 painted on the side of it. The Gold Saucer has 7 arenas. The Ancient Forest has 7 treasures. Aerith and Athalna were captive by Hojo for 7 years. Aerith's ultimate weapon, the Princess Guard, has 7 materia slots. And speaking of that, her birthday is February 7. It has been 7 years since Cloud left Nibelheim to join Soldier. Tifa spends 7 days unconscious after the weapons awake. She also spends 7 days in a coma after her and young Cloud fall from Mount Nibel when they were kids. Red 13 tells the party that Meteor will reach the planet in 7 days. Cloud levels up to level 7 in the first battle. If a unit's HP hits 7777 during any battle, they enter All Lucky 7 status where they do 7777 damage. The lucky handicap real on the battle square is called Lucky 7. Most characters have 7 different limit breaks. The exceptions are Kate Sith, who has 2, with various outcomes, and Vincent, who has 4, but each have 2 special attacks. This makes 7 characters who has 7 limit breaks. On the back of that, there are 9 main playable characters, but only 7 are mandatory. Safer Sephiroth has 7 wings, 6 white and 1 black. There are 7 Shinra executives, including President Shinra, Rufus Shinra, Scarlet, Hojo, Reeve, Heidegger and Palmer. Bonus fact for you, there were 49 facts in my video. 7 sevens. Did I plan that? Maybe. There we go, team. Really hope you enjoyed the facts. You probably knew a lot of them, maybe got reminded about some of them, and some of them were probably pretty trash. Thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe in the comments below. Follow me on Twitter, and I'll catch you around in the next video. Have fun playing Final Fantasy VII Remake. Don't spoil it for anybody else. Be kind.